I feel bad for Cam Ward. I really do. I sympathize with the guy because in my almost 15 years of watching NFL football, I have never seen a number one overall pick, one of the top quarterbacks in college, a Heisman finalist, get less media attention than Cam Ward. Usually in this situation, especially when it's a quarterback going first overall, analysts are salivating. They just can't wait to get to training camp. They're at camp every single day. You can find near every throw that they're making, talking about every snap in preseason. Take Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, or Trevor Lawrence in recent years. There was so much more hype, so much more attention. And with Caleb Williams and Bryce Young, you had guys, myself included, that thought that, hey, these guys are going to take their respective franchises to the playoffs in year one. With Cam Ward, I think I've seen like 2 clips during camp, an interview, and 1 post from the Titans preseason game where Ward threw 5 of 8, 67 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, although there was one that definitely should have been. But it feels like the NFL cares more about Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders to even give the number 1 overall pick 1 cent of media attention, 1 cent of hype. It just seems like the NFL doesn't care. The number 1 pick is supposed to be a franchise-altering player, a league icon, and I believe that Cam Ward can be that franchise-altering player in Tennessee. He's grown on me a lot since arriving in Nashville. I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't crazy about him in college. I wasn't a fan of him throughout the pre-draft workouts. I thought he was a little bit reckless with the ball, especially outside the pocket, but the more I watch, the more I research, the more I think he can really be a great quarterback, and from what I saw in preseason, he looked calm, collected, everything you want in a future franchise QB. Now, I know it's just 1 game in preseason. Preseason doesn't even really matter, and this wasn't even a full game, but he looked solid. The Titans are an irrelevant franchise. They are not a good football team. Even with Cam Ward, this is still a team that will probably be last in their division. I'll be shocked if Ward doesn't get killed behind this disastrous Titans offensive line. You can see it in preseason. Cam Ward has to really work to be able to get this football away without getting sacked. There are not enough weapons on this team. I mean, the receiving core of Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, and Van Jefferson is not good enough. There is no star. There is no true wide receiver 1. Now, on the depth chart, it says it's Calvin Ridley, but I actually believe that Tyler Lockett will be the leading receiver, kind of like this Adam Thielen safety blanket for Bryce Young. I think it'll be the same thing with Cam Ward in Tennessee, but still, this is not a good offense around him. But regardless of that, Cam Ward should have more attention from NFL media. He's getting nothing. I mean, the hype around Shedeur Sanders' first game against my Panthers, I felt like it was everywhere. I couldn't get away from it on social media. And then you've got the Titans Bucks, and it's like, here's Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick. Here we go. Nobody cares. I just don't quite understand the disrespect. It's mind-boggling. I get this was a skill position heavy draft with guys like Travis Hunter, Tedoroa McMillan, Mason Graham, but this is still the number 1 pick. I think Trayvon Walker in 2022 got more attention than this. Can you imagine explaining this to an NBA fan who doesn't watch football, especially with all the hype around Cooper Flagg right now? Like, they tell you that you're absolutely out of your mind and that this doesn't really exist. It's not like Cam Ward is a boring player either. He doesn't have a boring play style, no swagger. In fact, I'd say that he's the total opposite. He's a fun player to watch. He's got swagger. He seems like a great kid. And I think if the Titans organization will actually build around him, he'll be a starting quarterback in this league for years to come. Madden doesn't even like him. EA doesn't like Cam Ward. They gave him a 71 overall to start the year. The number 1 pick at a 71 overall. Can you believe that? Meanwhile, you've got Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, and basically every other player in the top 10 way higher, 77, 78, almost into the 80s. I want to know the thought process behind that. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm rooting for Cam Ward. He seems, like I said, like a great kid. And I want him to succeed so he can put this disrespect to bed.